All right, we're here this morning with Brent Running, a longtime member of the Business Abilities Program, graduated at one time about 3 years ago with a business that he thought might take off, something that was very interesting. Good morning, Brent. How are you today?
Oh, so far, all right. I think any morning I wake up is off to a good start.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I was just in the introduction talking a little bit about that business that you started off initially with us in the Business Abilities Program. Can you tell us a little bit about what that business was about?
Well, basically, I was taking older technology like videotape, 8 millimeter film, whatnot, 35 millimeter slides, and transferring them to newer media like DVDs, flash drives, and whatnot, so that people's old memories don't get destroyed and lost.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because you got into this about 3 years ago, let's say, and the technology has already changed again, hasn't it?
Oh, it's constantly changing. That's the thing is even DVDs are outdated now. Blu-ray will be on its way out before long.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the solid state drives they have now, people think, well, this is too slow now. The solid state's really fast.
Yeah.
I can just access.
One of the things that I guess you noticed in setting up that company initially was that there might be demand for that kind of service, but the pricing was difficult, wasn't it?
Uh, it's hard to find that balance between cheating the customer and cheating yourself.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
there are even today people who are finding it difficult to price it appropriately. The
and
sad part, though, Brent, is that there are an awful lot of memories out there in old
mhm.
media type that are just going to disappear from the face of the
Well,
earth.
my thought along one line was, photo albums, which are pretty much disappearing now with all the digital photography.
Yeah.
But grandma's photo albums are sitting there. Say you have a flood like happened in Toronto a while back. All those memories get destroyed or lost. If you digitize them, have them on some other form of media, you can make copies for all the grandkids, and if the originals get destroyed, at least you still have a backup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you didn't really remain in that business an awful long time, did you?
Well, it was difficult to get the word out, get people excited about it, at a price that they're, going to be excited about. I had a few clients come and they liked the work I did for them, but
Yeah.
there wasn't enough for me to make a living at it.
Yeah. So then you moved on and you tried a couple of other things. Now, I noticed in the background you've got several paintings up on the wall, and I know that they are yours
Yes.
because you're an artist as well. And you didn't really think that you might have a career as an artist, but you've been somewhat successful at it, haven't you?
Well, I enjoy it. At one time, I was painting mainly just to give them as gifts for people. And then I sat down one day and realized I didn't have any of my own paintings. So
Mhm.
I started painting them and putting them up on the walls. And now I've pretty much run out of wall space.
You did
I
a
have it
you,
stacked up here and there.
yeah, I know the feeling. You did a mural at one point in time, didn't you? For
I was going to, but then the lady never got back to me.
that's too bad because
Yeah.
that was sounded like an interesting project.
I was all gung ho. I had it designed out, and whether whatever happened, she didn't feel she had the money, or I have no idea. I tried contacting her, but she just never responded.
Yeah. Now, throughout this journey that you've taken through your technology phase and the art phase, BA, the Business Abilities Program, has stuck along with you. We've been encouraging you. We've been trying to find the right fit that would work well for you. And we've suddenly morphed into something entirely different one more time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the business that you're currently in, and this one has been successful. I'm very impressed with what you've been doing.
I'm starting to do my own films now. It's not a complete outtake, off the shoulder type thing. For years, from around 1999, I started filming plays that I was in, and which is a completely different thing than doing a movie because
Yeah,
you
that's
have
true.
no real control over anything.
Yeah.
And I did my first one in 1999 using a few VCRs and the remote controls to edit them together. And now I'm working on, a very, very powerful computer system with software that lets me do things I couldn't have even dreamed about back then.
Hmm. Yep, you're very fortunate to have the opportunity to do that. So tell us about the current project. You've got one that you've gone through the filming of the what, and give us the name and tell
Well,
us where it's at.
yeah, I just finished filming a short film called Teacher's Lessons. That'll be released on YouTube on September 18th, a week from tomorrow, in
Coming
fact.
right up. Yeah, that'll be great.
And I have actually two or three scripts in development right now. I have one that's ready to film in November called Wish Phone, where a young lady gets her new cell phone and sees an app on there called Genie of the Lamp, and she presses it, and a genie appears, and after a little discussion, finds out that she can text her wishes to him to save trouble and time, if
Oh,
she's in
lovely.
public.
Yeah.
However, autocorrect messes up a lot of her wishes, and
That sounds like
her
an intriguing plot.
and one that a script that I'm almost finished now that I'm hoping to do next, probably April or May. It tentatively titled "The Cat Did It."
Okay.
It started out as a comedy. It's morphed into more of a drama type comedy, and it's a little hard to describe.
No, that's okay. Listen, I guess the thing is you found something now that you really love doing, haven't you?
Oh, on Teacher's Lessons, I wrote it, directed it, acted in it, and edited it.
Yeah. So this is a work of passion and love.
It has to be, otherwise I have watched that film so many times in the last month and a half. I felt like my eyes were going to start bleeding.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The uh, Now that you're in the film business and you've got one under your belt and it's going to be up and shown, and we're going to show a clip from your film at some point in time during the course of this interview. So we'll just tease the audience a little bit with that. You will now become eligible for some grant money, won't you, from the area?
There's the Ontario Arts Council has some grants for emerging artists, and I couldn't apply for it before because you have to have at least one film under your belt before they consider you emerging.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'm putting together the application for that. My biggest problem is figuring out the budget for for a
Yeah.
film project like that.
You stick with me in the BA program because I've got some wonderful spreadsheets with how to do the budgets, how to figure everything out that we've been through several times ourselves.
Hopefully, if I can get a grant, then I'll actually have a budget for that film and actually be able to pay my actors.
Yeah, that would be nice. The actors like to eat every now and then.
Yeah, well, you get more people at auditions when you tell them there's some money involved.
Yeah, that's true too. You're right about that. Your association with business abilities. What do you think over the years? Has it been a good association for you? Has it been useful for you in what you've been trying to do?
Oh, you taught me a lot over the years, especially, going through the course. Some things that I might have taken for granted, I learned weren't quite the way I thought they were.
Mhm.
And, it helped me, frame things in my own mind in a way that I could understand them better.
Yeah, it's nice having a structure that you can work under, isn't it? Because as an artist, you tend to be all over the map sometimes, right?
So, indeed, I'll sometimes jump from one project to the next. Like I started writing a script, which I was it was an original idea inspired by the Portrait of Dorian Gray story,
Right.
where it's sort of a sequel to it.
Yes.
With a young lady just finishes watching the movie and thinks to herself, "Gee, I wish I could make that kind of a deal," and it goes on from there.
Hmm.
And then I suddenly got the idea for this comedy and set the Dorian Gray story aside, and I'm on page 113 of the first draft of this script now.
Good Lord. That's a lot of dialogue to get under your belt, and you have to have
Oh,
a particular skill to be able to write that kind of dialogue. My business partner was able to do that very well. I can write a story, but I can't write dialogue in a script. So I would turn everything over to her, and that's a particular talent to be able to do that.
well, what I tend to do is figure out the characters, try to give them a bit of a personality, and then I put them into situations and see what they do.
Yeah.
It's like, in my head, say, okay, well, this person, they're going to react this way, and let it go from there. And then, to me, acting, whether it's on stage or in front of the camera, comes down to three words: don't act, react.
You're absolutely right.
It's all a series of reactions. Something happens, and this person reacts to it.
Yeah.
And then, as a result of their reaction, these people react. And then, it goes on from there as a series of reactions.
Well, you're pretty excited about, and so are we, about the fact that you've got the film out of the way. It's up on IMDb, the Bible of the industry, which is nice to have your name, especially in IMDb.
I know I wanted to put our poster up on there, but apparently it costs $35 just to put your poster up. And on a no budget film that isn't going to be bringing in any money, it's just not the.
Yeah. So, is this the movie is going to be released on YouTube on
Yes.
September the 18th? It's going to be available to everyone. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's completely open to everyone. Anyone that goes there can view it.
Is it on your channel, or did they just have to type in
It's on my channel, Brent Running,
Okay.
and it technically it's there now, but it's unlisted, so it doesn't show up in my channel listing.
Okay.
Which reminds me, I should clear out some of my old stuff out of there.
Yeah, if
There's
you're going to have access to the public, you better
I
take out
have
some of the older stuff. You're right.
well, I have a couple teasers I made for a film I was trying to do about 3 or 4 years ago that are still in there, and I look at them now and I'm rather embarrassed by them.
Okay. I guess the other thing that we will want to know is we're going to show a little clip here of the film, and I think the 67-second one that you identified
Yes.
to me is the one we're going to use. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see, and then we can play the clip.
Well, this is one of the teacher's lessons that she's teaching me on manipulation and deceit. And she poses a question to me and tries gauging my answer to it. and then it goes from there.
Okay, terrific.
Let me ask you something. Are you religious or atheistic?
I guess you'd say I'm spiritual. I don't really prescribe to any current organized religions.
I see. I give you two choices and you answer me with a third.
Neither of your choices really fit my situation.
There have been many others sitting where you are now. None of them have made it through my lesson. Most of them are too dense, not intelligent enough to comprehend my lessons. Or maybe I'm just not a very good teacher.
Oh, don't say that. I'm sure you're a wonderful teacher. Just not everyone is a good student, you know.
Oh, I saw that. You think you can turn things around. Well, dear boy, I think it's time to move on to my next lesson.
It's been wonderful chatting with you. Have you got any final words, things that you'd like to say? We're going to be playing this video at our 10th anniversary for our organization on October the 8th across Canada. And you've been one of our long-term members. We're very happy to see that you're doing something that you love passionately and that you're enjoying some success at.
Well, I think if there's anything I'd want to tell people, it's no matter what age you are, if you have something that you want to get done, do it. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, the way I look at it is right now I'm 57. In 10 years, whether I do this film thing or not, I'm still going to be 67. So why not try? People say, "Oh, I'm too old, to start something new." Well, try, you're going to get older regardless. Go ahead and do it. The you talk to old people, and the one thing they always say is the main thing they regret is the things they didn't do.
That's right. You know what I call it, Brent? It's the shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah,
I should have done something. I could have done something. I
yeah,
would have done something.
yeah,
And you can spend your entire senior citizen years or your entire life doing
yeah.
coulda, woulda, shoulda, and it's not a good place to be.
I mean, looking back on my life, sure, there's a few things I might have done differently, but sometimes, if you eliminate some of the hardships that you had when you were younger, it might affect the character of who you are now.
That's correct. You're right. Well, listen, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you for participating in this celebration of our organization, Make a Change. And Brent, we're going to be in touch. We're going to make sure that everyone knows where to get access to your film. And I hope there's an awful lot of comments out there and that people will enjoy what they're seeing. And
I'm
we look forward to more films from you.
Well, I'm both looking forward and dreading some of the comments because I know there's going to be some people out there who have their doubts and their disses.
There's always a dissenting voice.
No matter
That's,
what,
that's right.
I always tell people, no matter what you do, someone is not going to like it.
That's right. You're
So
right.
do what you feel is right.
Absolutely. Okay. Good talking to you.
Okay.
Thank you.